Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I want to talk about sobriety. This is a difficult issue for a lot of musicians. It was definitely a difficult issue for me during the bulk of my professional musical career, i.e. the years that I was very active playing live and getting paid to do things musically. And I think that this is something that is very important for many of us to discuss and to think about. All right. My main point of this is that it is okay to be sober and be a musician. There was a period of time in my life, quite a long period of about 20 years, where I was musically active. I was out playing shows. I enjoyed having beers at the show. I enjoyed having even more beers after the show. And it just kind of became part of the ritual and the routine. I found that when I joined other bands, most of the other bands that I did join as a side person were, it was like, okay, well, it's expected that we're all going to drink during rehearsal, we're going to drink during performances, and we're going to drink even more afterwards. So for much of my life, all of that was wrapped together, and I thought somehow that the alcohol and the good times were tied directly to my creativity and my hireability. A lot of people like to talk about, are you a good hang or not? That's like a metric that sometimes that I'm seeing bandied about by a few YouTubers. It's like, if you want to be a professional musician, you've got to be a good hang. And part of that good hang thing seems to be, oh, well, let's go have a couple beers and we'll, have a good time. Well, what if I showed up in my current state being sober and it's like, I don't really want to go because I don't want to go to a bar because I don't want to drink. So there's lots of different things to think about when discussing this topic. I realize this topic is kind of touchy for a lot of people, and it may bring up things that are difficult to deal with, but I think that my primary mission, or the person that I'm speaking to here, if you are wrestling with, the idea of like, oh, maybe you are already sober, maybe you've never drank in your life, maybe you drink heavily now and you're thinking, I want to slow down, or maybe I want to quit altogether. My message is that you can still be a cool person, you can still be a perfectly creative person, you can be a great musician, you can be a great side person, you can be a producer, you can do anything in the world that you want and be sober and probably get better results. Now, for the cautionary tale part of this, because that's always, if somebody, posts a video like this or makes a public statement about sobriety, there has to be, skeletons in the closet. And there are. I certainly have many of them. I have many regrets. But the one thing that I will say, the thing that I want to talk about is, let's just talk about the professional arc of things in my life. I am firmly convinced that if I had been either drinking less or completely sober, my career path would have probably taken many different routes than it did. I think that I would have gotten further with my career. I think that I would have earned more money. I think that I would have ended up with better end results. I think I would have been a better person to the people I interacted with along the way. And I can say all of that with complete honesty. I can also say this with complete honesty. Since my sobriety journey began, I now have all of my guitars, are perfectly tweaked. I've spent a lot of time redoing my studio, redoing my shop, rethinking my methodologies for both guitar repair, music recording, amplifier repair, building pedals. I found that, once becoming sober, I was super interested in everything again, in a way that I probably hadn't been since I was a teenager. This channel would not exist if I had not gotten sober. So the takeaway from all of this is just a simple message that it's okay to be sober and to try to be a rock star, or try to be a producer, or try to, or just to pursue the things that you love. And I guarantee you that you may find that you have more interest in it, you'll be more focused, and you'll just maybe become better at everything. And that's kind of what I've discovered along my journey. I just wanted to share my story, share my point of view, and also, just it's really interesting. There is one thing that I want to say really quick before I wrap this up. out of all the things that I've done in my life that were perhaps questionable or good things for me to stop doing, when I stopped drinking, it's really interesting, and I want to put this in here because I think that a lot of people get caught up in this. I was actually asked by people, why? Whereas, if I said, well, I quit doing heroin, it'd be like, good for you, that's great. But there is a weird stigma, and I felt it from other musicians too. It's just like, oh, you quit drinking, why? Are you still gonna play? I mean, I actually had people ask me that, or do you think you'll still be able to write songs? And it's just, I feel like that kind of stigma is just ridiculous, and we have to get past it and congratulate people for attaining their sobriety and for remaining creative, and to encourage people to get healthy, be at one with themselves and be at one with their music or whatever it is that they desire to create. All right, I will get off of my soapbox now, and I hope that this has been of help to someone who sees this video. All right, if you've watched to this point, I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. Shares are always greatly appreciated. And the comments section. Have you been through this? Have you been through the journey? Or, do you have any sort of perspective on this that may be of help? And you take care, and we'll see you next time.